A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Of course, we're all excited to be here. First official game under Jose Peseiro. It was a win for the Super Eagles, but we talk about all of the things that happened in that game, but at least we can smile. It was a win for the Super Eagles today, a victory over Sierra Leone. As usual, I don't do this show alone. My partner is waiting in the wings. Austin Okon-Akpan is also here with me with his thoughts on everything happening in the world of sports.
All the greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Right here in London, I'm Austin Okon-Akpan. Yemi, so much going down in our world of sports, particularly the AFCON qualifiers. I know we cannot wait to talk about it. And African football showing that it is still competitive. Ethiopia, gracious goodness, stunned Egypt.
Wow. Those are the things that make you enjoy football. That's why we love this game. All right, let me attempt a quick rundown of what to expect on the show tonight. We will talk, of course, African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Nigeria was involved. As we speak, Morocco and Bafana of South Africa currently slugging it out. And guess what? Bafana leading in that game. So we keep monitoring to see what's going to happen. Of course, we'll look at Group A. We'll do our analysis of everything that went down today, especially in Group A, talk about the AFCON qualifiers. We will also look at what the LNC is doing. And it's that time of the season in football where coaches are appointed, changes are made to the backroom staff, players crossing to different clubs. We'll talk about that as we move on. And, of course, the drama over the next Grand Slam continues. Prize money announced today. We'll be talking about it and also talk about the prize money and the fact that officially now we know that there will be no backroom agreement. Officially, it's not going to be a ranking event. So we'll talk about that as we move on. Let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Bolu Omoni joins us now as we take a look at everything happening in your fast-paced, amazing world of sports. Bolu, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Interestingly, it's the day the Super Eagles finally got to win the game under Super. So lots of buts, lots of ifs, lots of what if, could have, would have, should have, but the most important thing in everything is they got to win the game, and every analysis can now follow through. Hopefully, we get to sort them out. And shocking results in the Egypt game. So basically, Salah didn't play. Even with Salah, losing 2-0 is something big. And in our group, we saw 5-1 thumping. Now people are setting standards. If they can win 5, maybe Nigeria can do the same. But again, the most important thing in games like this is to pick out 3 points, and that's exactly what the Super Eagles did. Hopefully, the few players who had knocks won't be that serious. Sekong, Osimhen, and maybe Sadiq Umar. Hopefully, they'll be fit enough, and let's see what the coach will come up with in the next game on Monday.
All right. And hopefully, we'll cross our fingers and hope to have a chat with the Super Eagles media officer, that's Babafemi Raji. Hopefully he'll be able to grace us with his presence. But let's just start differently. Of course, the show tonight will focus a lot on what happened with the qualifiers, but let's do a little bit of athletics, and that's how we're going to start the show tonight. Let's talk about somebody who has always been bringing smile to our faces, and we're talking about no other person than Tobi Amusan, again winning gold. And that's the picture you have on your screen in the women's 100-meter hurdles. I mean, these usually don't come as a surprise anymore. We're beginning to always expect that from Amusan. But at the African Senior Athletics Championship, this is heartwarming that it is happening. And of course, we'll also take a look at Nigeria's performance on day 2. But Austin, what else can we say about Tobi Amusan?
Nothing other than she keeps, making us proud. She keeps getting better and better. you know, when you're going out to competitions such as this, you are the person to beat because she is the defending champion after winning gold in Asaba in the last edition. And for her to come and defend a title is huge. And look at how composed, calm, eyes on the prize as she coasts to victory. 12.57. None of that of her competitors even came close to her. And she's proving that in Africa, this is an event and nobody comes close. And if you check, Liberia's Leah Ebony to finish second tells you that it is getting competitive in this event for the ladies. But Toby kept her composure, showed that she's the person in charge. Look at how she was racing with so much confidence, scaled the hurdles like a pro that she is, and then coast to victory. I'm not surprised she's getting into the record books. You know, it's how we talk about Gloria Allosday now. We mentioned Tobiloba Amushan. I just want her to continue this way till the Paris Olympics and see if she can get on the podium, because she was so sad. I tried to get her on this show when she finished fourth at the Tokyo Olympics, and she said, Austin, I worked so hard. I wanted to get on the podium. It didn't happen. But now with the consistency that she's showing, I think she's on track to go to the Olympics and then get on the podium.
All right, so Bolu, let me get your thoughts. Toby Amushan, and by extension, Team Nigeria.
I think when it comes to Toby Amushan, the African scene, it's more like no need to debate it again. It's breaking the world stage I've been hoping for her. Like it's a Brume talking about her, you know, on the African scene, we don't think of if she's going to win. It's about what she's winning, either gold or silver. So I think it's the same for Toby Amushan. At the world stage, 110-meter hurdle, sometimes you can say, what's the difference? Just 10 meters. That 10 meters is huge. So all the best when it comes to the world stage. But on the African scene, winning again, like Austin said, she was down at the Olympics for narrowly missing out. It was not a wide match. It was a very, very narrow match. And with the form she's going on with, hopefully she gets to win medals, if possible, gold medals at the World Athletics. And when it comes to maybe the Olympic Games in 2024, who knows? Because sometimes it's form you are going in with. Like we said about the Mokagbari, if not for the issues, she may have done well at this Olympic because of the form she was going in with. So if Toby Amushan continues in this form, who knows? She may be the first Nigerian in a long time to win the medal at the Olympic Games for hurdle.
All right. It's always about doing your best at the right moments. Yeah. And there's no question about Toby. She always gets there. But we're hoping when it counts most, she will give us that kind of performance. And just like Austin has said, just like Bolu has said, when it comes to the African scene, you really don't ask much questions because you know she's going to end up on the podium. All right, Austin, let me just quickly yield the floor to you. I mean, let's take a look at the performance of Team Nigeria on day 2.
Yeah, I mentioned that Toby Amushan clocked 12.57 seconds. Well, whether the wind aided it or not, she was definitely going to win that one. She won gold in the women's 100 meters hurdles finals. Temi Tope Adesina won silver in the women's high jump. She jumped 1.79 meters. You know what? She only just even got in today after so much travels and still went out there to win silver. We need to find out, you know, what delayed her going to Mauritius. Team Nigeria wins silver in the mixed 4x400 meters. The quartet of Emmanuel Jelly, Ella Onojuvevo, Ayo Adeola, and Patience Okon-George posted a season's best of 3 minutes, 22 seconds, 0.38 to finish second behind Botswana, who won gold in a time of 3 minutes, 21.85 seconds. You know, I think we should be winning gold in this one. Team Nigeria, and this team, they've been running together for some time, and you expect them to go on to win. But it tells you that even in athletics, teams are beginning to, you know, catch up, you know, because if you look at Botswana, for instance, they are beginning to make a statement on the tracks, and it means that we need to, you know, pump it up. Bolu, I don't know if you've got that update, but I was looking forward to Temi Tope doing something big in that high jump event, because we don't really talk about the high jump event, we talk about the long jump, but she only just got to Mauritius today, and she gave us silver.
We talk about high jump, we talk about long jump, we talk about triple jump. But high jump is not more like our forte kind of. And if you can pick up silver for resuming late or getting there late, imagine what could have if she got there maybe 2-3 days before to prepare well. I don't hope we get all these things right, because if she can jump that high and get a silver medal, I think I want to believe that if she had enough time to rest, enough time to prepare harder, she may have even gotten a gold medal. One thing is certain, like everyone agrees, talent is never a problem in Nigeria.
Totally agree. Talent isn't the issue. We must just find a way to ensure that we do things the right way, put some professionalism into it, because yes, I totally agree. We've got the talent. Maybe administratively, whatever is lacking needs to be corrected, and these guys will start winning again.
It's not maybe. I mean, let's not patronize anybody. It's not maybe. If our administrators can put in half the effort these guys put in, we'll be world beaters. It's clear. It's clear. I mean, we need to go beyond words. We need to put in the efforts. We need the government, the administrators, and those of us who say we love sports, we need to do. That is why we celebrate these guys, because we know the things they go through before they give us what they give us. And that is why, as a fan, as a journalist, it's difficult to come here and criticize any athlete. You know what they go through. And so I give my heart to the athletes, and hopefully we'll see some more good performances. All right. We leave it at that for now, but let's go to the Super Eagles. I mean, social media has been flowing with all comments. Some said a win is a win. Some said we survive. Some said it was a mighty scare. Whichever way you want to call it, at the end of the day, 3 points in the bag. That's all that matters for now. Some are also saying after game one, we're playing second fiddle to another team that has pumped 5 goals against an opponent. And like Bolu said, maybe they've set the tone. So when we play against that team, we should be scoring 5 as well. But whichever place you stand, whatever is your opinion, it is good to see the Super Eagles win a game. And this is Group A, Nigeria 2, Sierra Leone 1. Guinea-Bissau putting 5 goals past Sao Tome and Principe. Probably they're going to be the whipping boys in this group. You never can tell. But also, I don't know, all the things you have heard, plus all the things you have seen, was it a mighty scare? Was it a narrow escape? Was it 3 points in the bag is all that matters?
Yeah, when this game was going on, I tweeted that truly I've got 0 expectations that I'll take anything. And so that's how I took it. It was a nervy encounter. And let's not take anything away from these Sierra Leoneans. They were determined. They were closing up the gaps properly. They were chasing every ball. And that's what paid off for them when they scored that early goal. Beautiful run by Musa Kamara, beautiful cross, and then found the head of Jonathan Morsey. And I love the response. That's how to respond. Alex Iwobi with a calm finish. Just how to explain composure. When he finished that up beautifully, I said, okay, now the Super Eagles are trying to prove a point. And it was prompt. Yes, I'll still stay with the fact that it was nervy. I'll still stay with the fact that they were not getting those connecting passes that they wanted to see. I thought Umar Sadiq and Victor Osimhen didn't click the way they should have clicked. Victor Osimhen was fighting at good efforts, and I said he deserves to be on the score sheet, and he did eventually. Scored the winner for Nigeria to get his 11th goal for the country. But Jose Pizarro can look at this and get a lot of positives. Since we've been talking about positives, this is his first win, first competitive match, and the Super Eagles had to show some character to go on to win it. And that's what is important, because if you don't play as expected and you don't lose, then people can begin to have some hopes, and beliefs in you. So yes, still room for improvement. They need to still do more to win, the hearts of the fans who are still to an extent hurting. I just hope that we get Babafemi Raji so we get to understand what the players are saying right after this win. But before I hand it over to Bolu, I think this team, they were ready to play connecting football. They were opening into the spaces. Olaino was giving some short passes. Moses Simon doing the same. But the pitch at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja was a mess. And it makes us wonder what's going on, because the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, I think it was about 4 months ago, announced that pitch has just has been renovated and refurbished. Spoke all of the grammar that we need to believe that the pitch is good. And today it was just, what we saw was a bald head of a very old man as a pitch, and it affected every move that the Super Eagles tried to make. That's what we're saying about why we're quick to blame players. Let's understand, if we want to get guys who are playing in Europe, playing abroad where there are fantastic infrastructure, we must replicate the same back home. Otherwise, you won't get the same result, because the behavior of the ball was struggling and these guys couldn't understand it. Bolo, I think, is disappointing.
Well, I think Austin has picked up the first word from. I was going to start with the stadium. I'll get into the good parts and everything. Let's just, sometimes if we start from what they did well and end on the bad notes, you probably change the expressions. So let me start from the buts, the what ifs. So first off, that stadium, that thing didn't look like a stadium. I think if they had used MPFL players, we probably would have scored 5, because they are maybe used to pitches like that. That was terrible. And like Austin said, this pitch was just ready a few months ago. The Super Eagles have played just 1 game on that pitch before now. And look, I thought Teslim Malogun Stadium was bad. I thought that pitch was bad. This, putting it, saying it's terrible is probably putting it mildly. No national team should ever play on that type of pitch. And I said to myself, if this thing is this bad on screen, imagine how bad it will be for the players who are there already. There was nothing good about that pitch. I saw Tanzania's game. Tanzania, I saw their pitch. The ball was flowing easily without. There's no way in this world a professional player should be playing on that type of pitch. If you take 10 passes rolling on the floor, maybe it's only 2 that will connect your position. And if you hit it too hard, it will overflow again. And we are not even in the rainy season yet. And that pitch is that bad. Imagine what happens when the rain starts pouring almost every day. So if they cannot find a solution to that pitch, Gospel Akpabio Stadium in the US, they just played Confederations Cup final in that stadium, and we saw the pitch on screen. I don't want to believe maintenance is that difficult. I don't think so. It is either we didn't plan for it, or we planned for it and we are not doing it, but something is wrong with that pitch. I've been saying for a very long time that I think our preferred formation is the 4-4-2, based on the personnel we have. Even though I think today the personnel were not used well. How will I see Iwobi and Aribo as our midfielder? No way. I think the substitution in the first half was still not the right one. Taking out Sadiq Umar for Etebo. I would have, without any stress, without thinking twice, taken out Samuel Chukwueze. I've said it over time. Chukwueze should not be starting for the Super Eagles. Again, based on performance, based on everything. No, I think we should have moved past the likes of William Troost-Ekong as well. He is not fit to be starting in the Super Eagles. I'm not calling them bad players, but based on the ones we have players who I think are way better than these guys in the team. We need to start infusing some players, because this is the learning process. If you cannot take all the necessary risks we need to take in these qualifiers, will it be when it's time for AFCON we'll start taking risks and making a few changes? No. I think we have to start doing it now. And again, it felt like Sadiq Umar and Osimhen worked a few times, but overall they didn't gel. It could have been interesting when Osimhen headed the ball down for Umar. It was just a little bit too much. I think we need to pair 2 strikers up front. Should it be Umar and Osimhen? Yeah. I don't know. Should it be Osimhen, Desas? I don't know, but we need to find a solution to that. And I don't think it is too bad that the entire Nigeria, we don't have a good set-piece taker. It's terrible. The only good set pieces we had at the AFCON was Unwakali. Unfortunately, he couldn't even cover himself in glory based on his performance. But we need to fix our set pieces. This is the Super Eagles of Nigeria, one of the greatest teams on the African continent. We don't have set piece takers. But overall, like everyone has agreed, the most important thing is that win. We needed that win to probably bring a bit of confidence back into the team. We needed that win to calm the nerves of Osepe, so that, oh, we have the players, we can win. Now, for what Guinea-Bissau did, 5-1 against Sao Tome and Principe, we are playing them on Monday. I'm not saying we should score 5, but based on what we've seen, on a better pitch, I think they are playing the game in Morocco. We too have to score at least 3 goals against Sao Tome. We need to start scoring goals. This is Super Eagles, not any other team. So hopefully they get to improve in their next game on Monday.
That's what we hope they will do. And I totally agree with you. But maybe Pizarro is still trying to know this team, because I also mentioned that Samuel Chukwueze stayed for too long. I think he showed signs that he needed to go off. That substitution happened too late. And you know, with players and coaches, I've always said that we don't know what's going on, you know, until we get into the setup. So Bolu, you can only speak as an analyst. I can only speak as a pundit. We're not coaches, so hopefully they will get their job done, you know. But I suppose tonight on Channels Television, we're taking a look at the Super Eagles game with Sierra Leone today. It's for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. They won 2-1. But we say it was nervy. So we would like you to talk to us, but let's go on this quick break first. When we come back, we'll hear from you. Do you still love your Super Eagles with the way they played today, or you think they can still improve? We'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. You can be part of the program. You can send us a message on Twitter or channels_sports. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, are they back? Did you like what you see today? Yes, they defeated Sierra Leone, but was it the sort of play you expected from the Super Eagles? I want to hear from you. Talk to us. Yemi, you pushed it to me. Let me give it back to you. Did those guys put any of your hands on your cheek?
Really, Austin, I came into this game just like you, without much expectations. I mean, we've learned, we've gone through a lot, and I wasn't expecting too much. And to be honest, I tuned off at some point because it's like deja vu. It's like, oh, these guys have started. You know, but like Bolu said,
when they consider, right?
Yes, but like Bolu said, there are things. You know, I'm trying to be careful with my comments. You cautioned Bolu and said we're just pundits, the coach, because there are some things just on the high. You look at it like we watch football every day. What's going on there? It will be an Arrivo. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. But I like the fact that we have a coach that is bubbly. I like a coach that is energetic. That for me, it's good. But there are changes. I still feel we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we don't look for better defenders. I would not go as far as mentioning names. Bolu was bold. I'll stay on the fence. But I'll just tell you, the crop, especially the centre-backs. I don't have a problem with seeing Kevin Bassey play centre-back. He does that for his club, and he does it well. Football has gone past where a forward is rushing towards you, and the next thing you think of is just blast the ball. Football has gone beyond that. You know, he talks about set piece. We waste corners, we waste free kicks. There are teams who will play against you and get just 2 chances. Those 2 chances will be goal, and they will allow you play with the ball. So we have to move past. Then please don't get me started on the stadium. Don't just get me started.
But that's what happens, and the Super Eagles players, we talk about it. So let me hand it to Bolu. Bolu, you are the guest analyst. So what you're most trying to say is, do they need to be more efficient with the ball?
Let's go to the Champions League final, Liverpool and Real Madrid. Liverpool had everything. All the shots, all the attempts. Real Madrid scored. I think their first shot on target was the first goal, because the first goal they thought the score was offside. It didn't matter. So being efficient in football is, I tell people I like Pep style, the tiki-taka, but the only way to play football is to score goals and win games. Irrespective of your style, you can pack the bus, pack the train. So what's the essence of all possessions if you are not making use of it? I think, I say it all the time, one of our major challenges is we don't score enough goals in the Super Eagles and we concede. Like Yemi said, we need to fix the central defensive pairing. I think the Oyinbo wall in coach Trustekong and Balogun have gone past their prime. For me, especially Trustekong. I think we need... Kevin Bassey plays central defense in his club. He benches Leon Balogun. Then sometimes they drift him to the left, Leon Balogun comes in. But most time he plays in this left side of the central defense. We can try that out. There's Akpoguma, who we are not even thinking of again, who is a mainstay with his club in Ofenam. There's Shemia Jai in the club. There's Omeru. There's Awaziem, whose natural position is that central defense. We can try something. Like I said, like, this is our best chance. Luckily, we don't have tough in code oppositions in our group, so we can mix and match up and change. But when it comes to the AFCON itself, when we qualify, let me put it that way, there will be no time for second chances.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into all of this conversation, let's take some post-game reactions, because when we continue, we might not have the time. Let's listen to, the key actors, that's the players and the coaches. We listen to them. Come back for more on Sports Tonight.
I think it's important that we got off to a win in the first game. We know that we want to take the momentum into the next games coming, and yeah, it was very important that we started this campaign and with the 3 points. I think with the more games that come, it's our first game with our coach, all of us together, so we're going to improve, we're going to get better in the games to come. And yeah, like you said, we can always improve, but we're definitely going to get better and get stronger in the games to come. I think your question is similar to the first one I had, so I'm going to say the exact same thing. It's like our first game together as a group. We're going to improve 100%. We're working with new tactics and new philosophy, so of course we're going to get better and improve in the games to come.
Against Mexico and Ecuador, our team played much better and lose. Much better. Against Ecuador, we create 5-6 clear opportunity and lose. Today, our team was better than Sierra Leone, but I think our team, this squad, these players, but today I think you could change with character, with the personality. I think you created in the half time. You could stay 3-1 because you create more 2 or 3 opportunity, clear opportunity. In the second half also, Samuel, Lukman, I think he deserved the result. I don't want to suffer goals. No, in the first time or second half, I don't like suffering goals. Anytime. You must work more, of course. I have quality, but we must work more. More time, more sessions, more time with us, more meetings. See, our set piece, all your training in the meeting, in the video, until now. We need more time, but okay, it's good, it was good. We beat 2-1, I'm more happy, but they know. In the final of the match, I said for them in the dressing room, I'm happy because I win, but...
All right, Coach Joseph Pesero and Joseph Aribo. Let me before we get back to us. Let me come to you, Bolu. My grouse with these players has always been the hunger. Look, you don't necessarily have to have Zidane, Ronaldo in your team, but I grew up in a football culture where, if you don't play well, you attend a press conference with a very strong face because people don't like what they saw, and that translates into understanding the expectation of the fans from you. If you don't understand the expectation, you say, yeah, we won, so it's all cool. No, it's not.
Well, the thing is, hunger, some will say it's relative. Like we're discussing of look at Ghana, for example. The boys that played against Nigeria, that fought hard, that local balance, that here on the pitch. Some of them will not be going to the World Cup because some professional players are now part of them. Lamptey has joined from Brighton. Iñaki Williams, I was surprised at that. He was supposed to play for Spain. He's going to play for them. Same thing with Salisu, who they literally told to play for them for the Nigeria game. For whatever reason, he didn't play those games. So compare the hunger those guys will have when it comes to the World Cup. Well, if we don't group stage, I'm going back to our club. But some of the local players that are part of that team that fought hard, those guys will probably give everything they can. Some of our best performance in the friendly games was the second half against Mexico. That was when the local players got into the field. I'm not saying they are better or whatever, but sometimes you need much more than just, okay, yeah, stroll around the field and everything. Yes, we are giving an excuse. I want to believe one of the things that affected their performance today was that pitch. And I'm looking for who will defend the state of that pitch. Nobody. I don't believe anybody will. But I want to believe that's the reason why. Hopefully when they get to play on better pitches, like everyone has agreed, all these guys play for at least top clubs to an extent compared to what they have here. To stop there in Europe. And they don't play on pitches like this. So I want to believe that is why. Maybe when we get to play on a better pitch with a new formation, a new coach, a new style, maybe the performance will improve. But again, we need to do much more. In the second half, unfortunately, when I thought there would be a bit of a balance with Etebo and Aribo, Etebo, if you talk, we look at 2-3 minutes after coming on, it reduced his effectiveness. But again, look at the injury to Trustekong. Maybe it could have been avoided. because the pitch was bad. At the point, Osimhen was stretching, pulling his hamstring. I just hope all these guys are fine. You may or may not like one or two players in the team, but it still doesn't mean everyone is praying for injuries for these guys. So hopefully we get to hear reports either from the media officer or from the technical team telling us it is not something that bad and we get to see them again. But overall, my take has just been the most important thing is they got to win. Hopefully they build up from here. And at least let's see Sao Tome and Principe look at the highlights with their game against Guinea-Bissau and tell them they don't have better players. And when last did we see Nigeria score 4 goals? Not 4 and concede 4. As in 4 goals and win. I can't remember.
4 unreplied
It's been a very long time. So let's see if we can get that back against Sao Tome and Principe.
Okay. I'll go to Austin. All factors aside, you could go here, you could go there, you could talk about tactics, you could talk about personnel, you could talk about maybe luck. But all of those factors aside, are you satisfied with the level of hunger this current team has?
I couldn't assess it because the fans were not around. You know, there's a level the fans will push you, and the way you respond, someone can tell that you're understanding what they're talking about, you know. But let's not take anything away from the quality of Sierra Leone. This is a team that has been on a steady rise, and we saw their quality at the AFCON. And if you're playing Nigeria now, you look at it and say, this is a team that I can, you know, do a quick one with. And from the moment they scored, Yemi and Bolu, remember, they also had another clear scoring chance, and I think it was finger-saving a save from Abuja that stopped it. So they were pushing, they were coming all out to win today. But the Super Eagles didn't just do enough. And we've blamed the pitch, so I want to leave it at that. I think what you said to about hunger, Yemi, there's a level of showing you give, particularly when you've missed out of the World Cup, when the fans are still hurting. There's a way you approach this game and we'll know that you were doing it to say sorry. You're doing it to show you are remorseful for missing out on the World Cup. We didn't see that. Maybe because it's a new coach, maybe because he's still trying to experiment. We just talked about Alexi Iwobi and Joe Aribo. We will never understand why. There's still some level of discipline missing in this team because we saw some, you know, avoidable mistakes here and there that could have, you know, cost the team. So all of those, I mean, if you put it together, we'll say, let's give this team another chance. And that chance we cannot still assess with Sao Tome and Principe. We will need to see them against a competitive team. Maybe when they play against Guinea-Bissau again, you know, we will be able to make one or two informed, you know, comments about it. But if we've got reactions from Sierra Leone, let's take it.
I think we do.
I think they were pretty decent today, you know. So let's listen to the captain of Sierra Leone talking about the match against Nigeria.
I'm very optimistic. Felt today that we held our own during large parts of the game. Definitely got areas to improve on, but like the coach said, we're building, we're in a building process with a young squad, young team. I felt when we went 1-0 up, we started to sort of set back and give Nigeria a bit too much respect, and they took advantage of that and they got 2 good goals against us. But I would say it's one game, we've got 5 more left to play, and I've just talked to the boys then and said that there's lots of positives to take today, lots of positives. I think there's a few decisions that on another day should hopefully go our way. We'd like to think when we host them at home, we'd have them decisions go our way, and you know, penalties change games. And if we'd have got that little bit of fortune, then I think it could have been a different result. But fair play to Nigeria, they did well, and yeah, they've taken the 3 points, so they're off to a good start.
Game between Nigeria and Sierra Leone, and as I said, they also deserve some, you know, mention, some commendation, because they actually played well, pushed the Super Eagles all the way, closed their lines properly, and I think they deserve to take something out of it, but football said no and gave it to Nigeria. So that's what the Group A table looks like. After Guinea-Bissau demolished Sao Tome and Principe today, they sit on top of the table. And you see in this sort of campaign, Yemi and Bolu, goals, very important. You know, so now Guinea-Bissau will be banking on that goal difference, as you can see right there. So let's see if the Super Eagles can do the same when they play Sao Tome and Principe. and then get in a good position on that Group A table. So that's what it is with the AFCON. We'll move on now. Well, we'll still stay with the Super Eagles. Jose Pizarro visited the Minister of Youth and Sports Development today, Sunday diary, before that game. And the minister said quite a number of things to the new Super Eagles coach. Let's find out what he told him.
We know that no team wins every game, and no sport, for that matter, is 100%. But Nigerians would like to see the hunger, the aggressiveness, and the commitment in the team that you lead. If you lose, it should be done gallantly with a good and spirited fight. We hope that your decisions will be governed at all times by merit over sentiment, performance over gratification. I ask you to love this country and the Super Eagles. Live in this country, Nigeria. Enjoy our people. Enjoy our diverse cultures, our weather, our food. In fact, become a Nigerian. And then you can lead this team. Use this opportunity that has been given you by the NFF to make a mark and a difference in our national team. We are rebuilding our national team in order to create a competitive and strong Super Eagles by giving opportunities not only to those that have led our team successfully, but also to the raw talents that abound in our domestic leagues. Let it be a blend of the best that we have at home and abroad. And in fact, this is the DNA of the Nigerian football. As a ministry that supervises sports in Nigeria, we want to go on record that we will be supportive of you through the Nigerian Football Federation and the Super Eagles.
I like the things he said, Bolu, particularly telling the coach to love Nigeria, love the Super Eagles. When he said, when you lose, do it gallantly, I thought he wanted to say if you lose, you'll be sacked.
Well, I think that's just more like a consolation kind of. Is there a gallant loss? Yeah, you lose, you lose. We lost gallantly to Ghana, but Ghana are going to the World Cup, we are not going. I know Austin doesn't like it when I say the World Cup all the time. But again, I think to understand we disagree, or some of us disagree many things Paul Mr. says or do, but I think this one, it's hard to disagree with the things he said, especially the blend of the home-based and the foreign-based. I've said it over time. I'm not part of the quota system or not. Just give everybody equal opportunity. When you have an NPFL striker, you have a foreign-based striker, if you want to test both of them together, either you play them together in the same game or play both of them as a striker each half. Not the one Rod did with us with Lukosa and the other strong strikers, Simenwako, playing Lukosa as a winger for 45 minutes on now. Let everybody have equal opportunity. So that way, if you mess up, you know it is on you, not because the coach will not play you or not. So hopefully all these things will not end in words of mouth, because we saw home-based players in the friendlies, and this time around, there's no such thing. The only home-based players in the team even surprised those of us that follow the league. So whatever happens, the most important thing is the victory or success for the Super Eagles. If the Super Eagles does well, many will not criticize. People will think about home-based. It is when they are not doing well, we will probably just remind him, but maybe A, B, C could have done better. So in all, it's just about the success of the national team.
All right. Well, it wasn't only Nigeria that was in action today. There were other matches played. So let's just quickly see some results before we quickly go to the Nigeria Professional Football League, LMC, taking some decisions. What you have on your screen are some of the results. Burundi lost to Indomitable Lions of Cameroon by a long goal. That game was in Group C. Other matches also played. Austin told us earlier how Ethiopia defeated Egypt. Of course, Guinea also narrowly defeated Malawi by a long goal. South Sudan lost to Mali. That's 3-1. Lesotho and Cote d'Ivoire played a goalless draw. All right? And, of course, the game everyone is talking about, of course, Bafana giving a good account of themselves. They're currently holding Morocco to a 1-1 draw right there in Morocco. And guess what? They scored first. So we'll see what happens in this one. Ugo Bruce and his boys putting up a fight, putting up a show against the Atlas Lions of Morocco. Let's come home and talk about decisions made by the league management company today. Of course, they have sanctioned Niger Tornadoes. Niger Tornadoes have been sanctioned for breaching the NPFL 22 framework and rules during the course of their match day 30 fixture against Lobby Stars at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna. And of course, what happened was Tornadoes failed to provide adequate security for the match officials, resulting in their harassment, intimidation, and also failed to ensure effective security at the venues, leading to breakdown of law and order. So what happened? Tornadoes have been fined 1 million each for failure to provide general security, as well as for failure to prevent unauthorized persons access to restricted areas, and for assault on match officials. A fine of 500,000 was also imposed on Tornadoes, be 250,000 each to the center referee and assistant referee too, and an order of 2 points deduction. I could go on and on, but your thoughts, Bolu?
We hear these things all the time. It will still happen tomorrow. Look at Kano Pillars. The Kano Pillars caused trouble in Lagos. They caused trouble in Kano. They caused trouble in Katsina. They caused trouble in Kaduna. Look at Niger Tornadoes. Caused trouble in their house in Mina. Came to Kaduna. All these fines are not working. Nothing is changing, because
especially when they do it again.
Exactly, over and over. Then you hear suspended point. What is suspended point deduction? Even 3 points is too small. If you cannot banish these guys completely, give them what will pay them. Give them 10-point deduction. Let it be something painful. Or ban them from playing. Imagine if you are banning a team from, for example, Lagos for maybe violence or whatever. You tell them to go and play in Ibadan. That's no stress. Tell a Lagos-based team that caused trouble to go and play in Kano, their home games. When you go through stress, you find ways, because these things will continue. We don't even know if they pay these fines. We only hear that they tell them you have to pay so. We don't know if they pay. We don't know if they don't. So this thing, when you try something over and over again and it's not working, you need to try something different. If they keep telling you, okay, how much? These clubs are run by governments. At worst, they will take out of one cut and pay. We need to find a solution to these things. Unfortunately, all these little fines are not working. I pray and hope people will not die based on this thing. One of our colleagues, Toby Samuel, escaped something like this about a week ago, just thanks to the policemen that were around or something. So we need to have gone past this level. And if we are not ready for fans, let's just stop fans in NPFL completely. If that's the only way our league will move forward for now, let's just stop fans. Because these things, I pray to not get bloody someday.
Okay. Well, I think we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll continue with our discussion on the domestic league. And, of course, we'll talk about tennis. All right, so we're on the home stretch, a few days before we wrap things up on the show. But, of course, we have to get Austin's stake. I mean, plus all of those things I reeled out. Bolu talked about 2 points, deduction, that game that caused trouble also will be played, will be concluded on a closed door. And so, do you think all of those things is enough deterrent? Or we're going to see it again, just like Bolu said?
It will come again, sadly, because they're giving fines to the clubs, and they are not doing enough to educate the fans. The main people causing problems, you're not doing anything about it. That's because most of them don't understand that football isn't win at all costs. So again, the LMC must do all they can for fans' education. Charge the clubs. And when it happens, in a way that these fans will not listen, maybe you need to suspend a team, or if possible, ban them for a season. Or say, because you're causing problems for the league, we don't want you guys anymore. That's the charge that should be given to clubs because, as Bolu mentioned, you don't want to wait till lives are lost, because it's happening every season after season. We know when Kano Pillars plays Katsina United, something must go wrong. The LMC knows, and then we don't see proper security in place. We don't see fan sensitization before the match is played. The Merseyside derby is heated. Sometimes weeks before the game, you find the coaches, it's deliberate, Yemi Ambolu, talking about the Merseyside derby, telling fans that, look, this is not do or die, love yourself, it's football. They use every means available to ensure that people know that it's just football and the game is fair play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's see how far we can go before we wrap things up on the show. Gennaro Gattuso has been employed as the Valencia manager. Something funny that happened to him last season. I mean, we heard he was going to Fiorentina. Then again, everything ended before it started. Funny situation. But, of course, Gennaro Gattuso, what can we say about him? His days as a footballer gave us fond memories. He is the definition of giving your best when you're on the field. And he also brings that to his managerial career. He was one quoted as saying, these days players lose and they take selfies. In his days, players don't do like that. But Austin, quickly as we can, your thoughts on Gennaro Gattuso taking on the Valencia job?
Yeah, it makes me remember what you said about his sports players lose and take selfies. Makes me, remember the Super Eagles and you saying that, there's a face you need to put when you lose games. These guys were fighters, when they were playing football. And even as a coach, you could tell, looking at him, that he's somebody who wants to go on to win. Valencia is a decent team in the Spanish La Liga. So I know he would be trying to, ensure that it brings them back on the pedestal, particularly see how they can get back to European football. And it's Gattuso. It will definitely push them, but I love the fact that he's still going strong and to an extent giving us some of the good things to talk about him, particularly being a player, and now we're still seeing those same qualities as a coach. Let's just wish him all the best at Valencia.
All right. Bolu, a few seconds on Gattuso.
Every time I remember Gattuso, it's just his playing days that goes to my mind.
You don't remember his manager?
It's hard to separate the coach from the player, but it's good to remember it was the one who, should I say, inspired the Osimhen move to Napoli. And since, for like 2 years now, since the financial problem with Valencia, they've struggled a bit. So maybe with the ginger of Gattuso, they may step, but they still have some quality players. So hopefully you can get them back to, if not the Champions League, the Conference, Europa League. If not the Europa League, the Conference League. Europe is Europe.
All right. Our parting shot on the show tonight will be Wimbledon. Of course, the organizers have told us that they will offer a record total $40.3 million. 40.3 million pounds. I beg your pardon. $50.5 million. I mean, the figures is making me stutter. All right. So, of course, but the singles champion will receive less than a pre-pandemic amount. So, Bolu, the issue here is they're not bothered about losing the ranking points. And I think the players as well, they don't care. It's the Grand Slam winner here, which is getting £2 million. Each winner gets £2 million, 14.9% less than it was in 2019. But I guess they don't care.
When you win, you get your money, and there's a name attached to that you have Grand Slam, Wimbledon.
Forget about ranking points.
Ranking for now, the reason they're playing is probably not for ranking, it's for bragging rights, for money. If you have Grand Slam attached to your name, that's enough. Whatever happens, because there's always another time to have a better ranking. So I'm sure they don't mind. The players that will compete will not mind. Those not coming could feel well, they are not moving. But believe me, the guys that will collect the money, they probably don't care about the rank.
All right. Your parting shot, Austin. Do you think we're going to see any withdrawals? Naomi Osaka told us, well, she's the only one that said something like that. Because it's not the same without the ranking. But the guys are not saying that.
They're not saying it. In fact, when Bolu was speaking, I remember bad boy Nick Krios, he said, is it the ranking points that will pay his team? It's
all right.
Just for bragging rights and all of that, but hopefully we won't get to see any withdrawals. We want the top guys to come to Wimbledon. It has a rich tradition and play tennis.
All right. That's the show today. Of course, we have to go. We do hope you've enjoyed everything. I want to quickly thank Bolu, Omoni for his time on the show. Hopefully we'll do this again next week.
Yeah, sure, it's always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you as well for allowing us into your homes today. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Always a delight to have you join us to talk sports right here in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.